or need to be fixed, or is wrong, you know, they would do all that. That's what they would do. So what are you saying then? Who's in control of
That's all
that?
artificial. It
It's
really
all
doesn't
artificial,
exist.
it doesn't exist.
The bank accounts don't tie into
It's been
the
that way, it's been that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sure, yeah.
Sue, I understand that, I fully understand it, what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah, but you're not hearing what I said a
Yes,
little
ma'am.
while ago, because this is what the problem is.
We thought we had separate accounts. We never had separate accounts. No, what we're saying is, the problem is, well,
Is everybody listening to this?
Look,
I
even though,
really enjoy John as a person, Ann as a person, and Jeff as a person. So this has nothing to do with whom you are as persons. It has to do with how this board is being run. And when I hear, yes, it's hearsay, that we're having a meeting, we're gonna discuss this, how are you gonna vote? How are you gonna vote? How are you gonna vote? That's open enrollment violation. Open enrollment violation. And we don't know whether it's gonna stop or not until we get new people on the seat. There's no faith in the board right now.
I wanna move on from all of that.
All right, so may I ask a question? Can you repeat those budget figures again that you just gave us so I can write it down, please?
As of September 15th.
As of September what?
December.
Thank you.
May I make a point? I've been here since 1980, and around 85, 86, we got cleaned out for about, I think,
Yeah.
$200,000 or $400,000. I think it's important, Bob, that at the present time, we get what you, sort of a forensic audit, if you've got an accountant that can do that type, to show the discrepancies so that we can manage to talk about it and maybe have a subcommittee of volunteers who can help go through things. I would see that as being more positive than people taking pokes at you.
I'm sorry, what is your name, sir?
My name is John Facette.
John, that's on my list, I was gonna make a suggestion. If the board consider having an audit done.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
It would not only protect you, but it protect me too. Because I have no idea where the money went before I took over. I know where it is today. Because I know every penny we got went into the bank account. I don't know what happened before that.
I think we're wondering why each cluster director isn't the signer for their cluster. One of the signatures on the check for their cluster.
Sir, they can have as many signers on the check account
so,
as
okay.
they want. That's not it. All they gotta do is fill out the paperwork and we'll send it to BB&T.
Nobody
And
wanted
they
to
can
sign.
have any signers they
Nobody
want.
wanted to be on.
Carol did.
Okay?
Sounds good, so did
That's not the problem. The problem is, we took over where CNS left off with 3 names, period.
So what you're saying is that Carol and Sharon can walk in and they can now sign it, be their
Not
signatures?
until they sign the paperwork and we send it in.
Okay, so it'll be done.
Well, yes, we can do that. However, it has to go to the board as well.
has
Anything
to go
they
to
do
the
has to
board.
be approved by the board.
There you
They are
go.
on the board.
There we go again.
They are on the board.
They are on the
It has to be
board.
approved
But
by
the
the board.
board has to have a unanimous yay and nay.
No.
No.
What I'm saying is, if cluster 4 goes out here and they get a proposal to put on a new roof, that proposal will come to me. I will distribute it to the board. You personally should have more than one, but just for sake of discussion. That proposal will come to me. I will distribute it to the board at a board meeting, and this entire board will either vote yea or nay. All of those have to be approved by the board of directors per your documents, because I read them.
But Mr. Farnham, here's where we are, and here's where we are. We don't trust the board that's sitting there right now. There's
thank
our
you.
problem.
Well, I appreciate if you trust me,
There's
because I'll
our
make sure it's
problem.
done correctly. I can't,
We not work with you, so I can't say that there's trust or no trust in all sincerity. But the board that's been sitting there, it seems to be completely set up before all the meetings. And then we have a president that spends 2 months without having seen us his contract run out at the end of December, and then hire you, which is fine. But now for 2 months, November and December, we're paying 2 people?
No,
Now we're paying, you did it for free?
no, they were paying me, but they weren't paying CNN.
They had to run
Yes,
CNS
they were
contract
paying
out,
CNS.
yes, they were.
CNS
Yes,
contract
they
was
were
not
paying
paying
CNS.
We paid less to CNS than we did to the attorney for the meeting you had.
It doesn't matter, we still paid it. We shouldn't have had to do that. And then again, how can we spend $69,000 on asphalt without every board approval? How does that
You should,
happen?
that should not happen.
That's
Those things should not
exactly
happen.
right. $69,000 and you're telling us now we don't have any money?
No, I didn't say you don't have any money. What I'm trying to get across to you guys is the money that was being given to you in your individual cluster, monthly reports. It says operation X
Yeah.
number of dollars, reserves X number of dollars. If you take those numbers and you add those up, that's more money than you have in the bank. So there's no way that's an accurate number.
We didn't communicate,
That's
she
what I'm
didn't
trying to
know.
get. We have to figure out what the accurate number is and how it's being distributed and make sure that that money adds up to what's in the bank. If all the clusters spend all their money.
Does anyone else need a copy? Because it's very
That's
slow.
Now, here's my next question. That's why I wanted to
Very slow. We're gonna give that to that man in the back.
You gotta know, there's real estate talk out there on the street,
Well, let
and
me tell you
everybody's telling ya, don't touch Pebble Springs condominium right now.
I'm
watching.
They're in a mess. So just a moment, one moment, please. We have to have
need a
so
copy?
much in our reserve,
I
percentage-wise,
said that.
to use.
I've been saying that
to
for
sell
5 years.
VA and FHA.
Saying it for
What I'm
5
hearing
years.
from you is we don't have that percentage. So the only thing we can do is sell conventional.
No, I've said for 5 years there was something wrong with the money. Nobody listened. It was CNS, you understand? You got that on your video?
I do now, don't I?
That's what I'm hearing from you, and that's a concern.
There is no hindrance in selling it. I have 5 applications.
You can have it from back.
I get it, but purchased at what price?
I don't know what the price is.
You're going down and down and down and down. And the other item I would like to bring to your attention, if I may, when a bush dies, dig it up and replace it.
About 3,000-4,000.
And I bought in here because the master
When they
agreement,
did it with
the master
CNS,
agreement
the
said
budget,
we had
I
a
mean,
heated
the
pool.
audit, they only
We
see
don't have a
bank
heated
statements,
pool.
they never saw the financials that
Our
we
pool's not
got.
heated. We need to look in to get this pool heated. That would raise value in here. I bought because I thought we had a heated
CNS
pool.
ordered it. This is
We
why
don't-
I dumped CNS.
I also bought
This
because
is
I
why
thought
I
we
had
could
to
use our
use
tennis courts. We
Somebody
can't.
listened.
There's huge holes in our tennis courts.
Well,
So we've got to,
No,
we've got
I'm
to
hollering
come
at you.
together
Just saying.
as a family,
This is
as
other
a
people
group.
saw it, came to me. I didn't initiate it. Who else needs
In order
this?
to make all this work, I didn't know about the tennis court, I knew about the swimming pool, but those things get, so we can put it all together and bring it to the table.
Yeah, 'cause
Everything I do is I come to the board.
that's our problem.
Yes, sir.
So, a couple of questions.
Gotta talk
Have you read and understood all of the association documents? How close are you to the content?
I'm going through them and.
They have other comments.
Right now, as things pop up, right now, I'm concerned with the financials, and I'm going through everything that has to do with financials with the documents. And some of the things, some of the violations that come up, I'm going through the documents. So, going through the documents and seeing what the restrictions are each community, each cluster, because we're getting applications for purchases, leases, and everything else. And I want to make sure everything, in fact, I contacted Steve about one of these things. Cluster 5 had a restriction on age group, because if a young lady wanted to buy it, she was not 55 years old, you can buy them, but you can't live here. That's the restriction. Those are the things.
So is there anything that you come across that says that if...
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't hear the gentleman
Knock it
talk.
off.
Is there anything that you have read in the financials that indicates when a check is cut for work done at a cluster, the representative from that cluster has to sign that check?
No, sir, I did not find that yet. It may be there, I don't know, but I haven't read it yet.
But that could be a board policy, if the board wants to do it, then that makes sense. Is that, that policy, that cluster, director, to keep accounting of what's being, because they're ultimately accountable for
But
that.
don't we have to follow the documents? I mean, we have association documents that determine how we
The
have to do
documents are
things.
not, the documents don't specifically state that, so if it's not, if it does, it's not prevented, the board has discretion to adopt, and that's a reasonable rule and regulation that the board could certainly adopt.
The board can make a
And they
resolution.
should probably
to
make
that.
change to the document.
Well, you may not want, you may find out that, for some reason, maybe there's not a cluster representative at some point in time. What do you do in a case like that, if the restrictions say you have to? So, I would say you wanna keep it in the rules and regulations.
Can I just ask a question? You're talking about the financials and you're talking about having one bank account versus everyone having a separate. Are you changing that? Are we all gonna have our own bank account, or are you still leaving it?
It's
I
gotta
know we
stay the
never
way-
did. I'm
it's gotta-
asking if they're changing it.
It's gotta stay the way it is.
It has to? That's in our documents?
Yes.
Well, and that goes back to the way this is set up.
Uh-huh.
You only have one association.
Right.
And a bank is only going to be dealing with directors. If you give it to the cluster, there's no cluster board. There's a board of the entire Pebble Springs, but a bank is not going to
Right.
establish a separate bank account for a
Right.
cluster.
I'm just asking because
Yes.
the way you're referring to it is, it's a problem
Yes.
with it being only one account. You're referring to that as being a problem,
Not
so
nec-
should we,
Not necessarily a problem. I just wanted everybody to understand that, because the consensus I got from a lot of people here that's called me and emailed me and some of the board directors is, everybody thought you had your own bank account.
right,
Well, technically, you do not have a bank account.
because we all have our own budgets.
Yeah, you have your own
That's
budget,
why I think
your own
everybody thought
expenses
we
and
had
all
our
that
own.
stuff, but no bank account.
So the point is though, if money is being screwed up or allocated or not coming out of the right part, that's why everybody's getting a little questionable, because it's under one bank account versus everybody separate. And even though, and we all have our own budgets, we all have separate budgets, so the point then is the money being spent accordingly in each cluster appropriately?
You got it.
So whose responsibility is it to tie the budget to the financial statement? When the statement comes each month from our one account, whose responsibility or which people are responsible for each cluster's tying it to their own individual budgets?
That's your property manager.
All right, tar and feather you.
He just got on, come on.
Here's what we do. Here's how it works, in a nutshell, okay? We get a bill in, we write a check, and if it goes into the computer system, and that expense comes out, that expense goes to the budget, and under that category, they will say it's electric lights. Under electric light repair, that bill goes into that account and takes it out of the budget. So we do, at the end of each month, we do a budget comparison to actual. You can see how much money you've already spent. Let's say you allocated $5,000 for that electric. You've already spent $800 of that. But it'll show you in that month that that's how much you got left to spend in that budget.
But then isn't that why each director should be responsible for every bill in their own cluster to sign those checks? So that they're the ones making sure that that invoice is correct, or that work was done, or that blah, 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 instead of just 2 or 3, but each director should be the one to sign for that payment to be paid?
I have
What
no
if that
problem with
person's
that.
out of town for that account? I'll get a call from them and say, can you run by the office and sign this check, this check? this
Okay,
check?"
and I understand, that's the director at large, that's what that's
No, but
supposed to
that's
be
not-
for.
That's just because they know I'm stupid and stay at home and.
No,
Then I'll
no,
show
but I
up-
mean, that
then I'll
should be,
show up to
that
it.
should be the exception to the rule, that shouldn't be
Right,
the
what about
normal
when they're
rule.
in town?
It should be, you're not, I mean, each one of those directors isn't out of town all the time.
No.
So, when it's an exception to the rule, then you go to the director at large to sign those bills. But under normal circumstances, if they're the director of that cluster and they're taking in those bids and they're putting out that work, it's no different. If I buy something, it's my responsibility to write my own check and pay my own bill. Shouldn't they?
So what, in other words, what you're saying is, what I'm hearing everybody say with us having one bank account, should it not, it's up to the directors to look at their electric bill and marry it up with the payment that's going out so that they can keep their own books.
Sure.
So if they hire a labor to come in and do work, they've got the bill, they need to marry it up and know that it's been paid.
Sure.
How much has come out of my account?
Right.
Okay.
So do you do that for them?
Yes, ma'am.
You send them an email and marry those
Yes,
up?
we do that.
Can I address that for a second?
Mhm.
As an officer, I countersign every check with every director before all this nonsense happened, okay? If cluster 1 has a bill and they need that bill paid and that bill would come in, I would call Carol, I've got your check and I'll countersign it for you, Carol. That way it has the 2 signatures. Or Jeff would countersign it, or Don would countersign it, or whoever the other officers were. We have been doing that process forever. They are not on the account right now because they have not picked up their 2 legs and gone to that office
That's
and signed the cards. What?
They haven't picked up their 2 legs in it. Come on.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
get
they
down
really,
with
that's
it.
all they gotta do is go in and sign bank cards. Really?
How often do they have to sign those?
Hi, Carol.
Once a year.
Hi, Carol, can you come over and sign the paperwork?
We used to do that at the board meeting.
Well, we haven't had any, this is it. And they're not here to be signing those bank certificates.
I will call both of them and make sure that they have the paperwork to come over and sign.
That process has been ongoing, we've used that process for years. Gentleman in the back.
Hey, my name is Ken Sosnowski. I just moved into cluster 6 and I own 2 condos over there. And I don't know why I made a mistake. I just moved in straight.
Welcome here.
But I understand somebody fired our director and I don't know why they.
He wasn't fired, he resigned.
No, he wasn't resigned.
He did not
didn't
resign.
Well,
talked
I
to
didn't
the
make
man
that
from Michigan. He didn't
determination.
resign.
You wait and take them back.
Haven't had an opportunity, have I? Is he here? Is he
was.
here for the board to put him back? He left.
He was. He was.
Well, did you bring it up? No, now you're bringing it back. And it's not on the agenda, so we can put it on the agenda.
Now the agenda means something.
That's right.
I sat.
Now the agenda means
So
So we.
What?
I sat and listened to him say he sent in an email resigning.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's a resignation.
Right.
So is that a resignation or not in the eyes of the law?
I did an opinion and basically looked at the email that he sent to the board members where he said he resigned, and my opinion was, based under 617, that's an effective resignation. Doesn't mean that the board cannot, I mean, they should reappoint they could reappoint him or somebody else, put it on the agenda, because the cluster should be represented.
Wait a minute, I have something to say.
Sure.
Okay, I saw the emails, and I know that he sent an email to all the board members because he was angry over some of the things that was happening with the black. And he said, I will resign instead of working with this. And I was the director for many years, and I know there were many times I wanted to resign as well. But then Ann sent a letter back, an email, and said, I didn't get your note. I've been told that you resigned. Did you really resign? And his response was, I did say it, but I'm not going to resign.
Right.
So, but then the board decided, no, we want you to resign because
Let me just correct that. The board would never make a decision about the resignation. Once you send that, and you send that email, you say, I resign to the board member, the genie's out of the bottle.
Right.
You can't take
How do you quit a job and then turn around and say, I want it
Wait a
back?
minute. Okay, when I was on the board, Sherry from cluster 2 and when Ann came on the board, she already couldn't get along with Ann, and she said, I cannot be on the board. I cannot be. And they would not accept her resignation until in writing, on paper, she delivered that.
But,
And I had to go get it
and
from
that's
her.
correct, you have to be, the resignation has to be in writing, and that's really, I think what the board was saying, yeah, send in writing, the same thing with the email, that's in writing, that's an effective resignation.
Yeah.
I mean,
But he didn't sign it, it was an email.
Email is signed.
I'm sorry.
So we have a situation. So we have a, excuse me, I have the floor, thank you. So we have an effective, missing roughly 100,000. It might be missing from one cluster, it might be missing from multiple clusters. So now when we are looking at having an accountant account an audit, when is the last date that we have connection between the budget of each cluster and the amount in this one account? Is it a year ago? Is it 2 years ago? Is it 20 years ago? What date do we have a tied 5 budgets, 6 budgets to that one number? What date?
It would start with January 1 and go the whole, if it's gonna do an audit, they'll start with January 1, 18 and go to December 31st, 18.
No, but I'm saying, does that have to be done back to 1979?
Oh, no.
When was the last date that we tied the 6 budgets to that one number?
It started in January.
January 2018, we had tied.
So the point is,
So
prior to that,
don't misunderstand me, the money may not be missing, it just may be allocated
Right.
wrong in the number.
right, so you're
That's
saying
what we're
prior
gonna
to that, there wasn't such a deficit or difference or screwed
I don't know,
up?
I don't have any bank.
That's what he's asking, it's like, how far do we go to see where's that difference?
He'll go back as far as you want him to. He'll go back to day 1, but understand, when they go back that far, you're talking about more money. It's an audit, I've seen audits that gone back 3 or 4 or 5 years at $10,000-$12,000.
Well, if it's gonna get our 100 grand back,
It may not really be missing,
It may
it just
not be
maybe
missing,
checks
it
out.
just may be the way.
Well, that's what I was
it's
gonna
sitting.
ask, is it just simply checks outstanding?
Is it possible that some of that money is unpaid monthly fees that people have moved away and it's just, there's no follow-up?
Yeah, there's a lot more that goes into this. And just give me a chance to look at this and take a look at it and see if we can determine where it is and what it is and see if we can't balance the books. Before you go off the deep end and spend $10,000 on a.
Can I ask a question in the fact that we have in the past always voted where we didn't do the audit, you know, we did where we didn't have to audit every year.
Yeah.
So we waived it, you know, was that wrong? Was that a problem? Should we not have done that?
No, you should at least have an audit, I would say every 3 years anyway.
That's what we were doing, but that's what I'm saying, I mean, all this kinda came up now, should we have?
You don't have to have well, with your budget, you would need a full-blown audit. With the amount of money that you bring in, you should have a full-blown audit.
Right, but you're saying the fact that we waived it every 3, you know, for 3 years is okay?
Yeah, no, it's okay that you did it, but, you know, you have the right to do that.
Yeah, but should we?
No, you shouldn't. My opinion is you should not have.
So does an audit tie to the 6 individual cluster budgets
It would-
and reserve amounts?
No, the audit is gonna take the bank account that you have today, the one bank account, and they're gonna take all the expenses, and they're gonna look at everything that come out of that bank account, where it was gone, how it was distributed, and all that stuff.
So when we're all done, we still won't know what cluster is
Exactly,
short.
that's what I have to figure out first. And that's, we've narrowed it down some, but it's
I
hard.
heard somebody was calling my name and talking behind my back, and I was just to clear records. I didn't resign. You never got resignation letter from me. You got email, or I was upset with unethical behavior of the president. Attorney protecting her is stating that that was resignation. I'm asking attorney to read another email that was provided by Ann Carl before contract was signed with Coastal. So if my resignation is valid, then NCAR resignation is valid, and then coastal community management doesn't have to do anything here. And I just want to clear my record, I didn't resign. I was pushed by attorney, congratulations.
I didn't push anybody, I
Yeah,
just looked at the
okay.
evidence and made an
I'm waiting
opinion.
for your legal opinion about the other emails, because there was another
I'll
email
take a look at that.
saying I resigned.
I'll
And
take a
that
look at
doesn't
that.
matter, that one doesn't work, but
I've
mine
never
is
seen
okay.
that one before, you brought it to my attention just a few minutes ago.
Stay here, please, please, stay here, stay. You said just a few minutes ago that he had to be present to reinstate him, right? We want him reinstated.
It had to be on the agenda, miss, that was what we said. Oh, my God.
We want,
Okay.
he is our director, we want
Let's
him
vote
to stay.
to
We want
amend
him as
today's
the director.
agenda.
He's our director.
The agenda for the day was only a couple of things.
People from cluster 6 wanting
Could
to
you
stay
be quiet
here,
for
and
just
you
a
have
moment?
only people from cluster 4 and 5 representing associations. That's not right. And
All right.
don't talk behind my back. Have a
right.
nice day. Enjoy. And
Let's stay.
you're president. What?
That's not right.
No, I'm.
Only had three things on the agenda. Two of them, Steve covered the association structure. And the coupon books, some of you have already received the coupon books. The rest of them are coming. They had a problem getting them out. We had a problem because CNS did not order them when they were supposed to. When we found out about it, we were 3 weeks into this thing, so that's why they're late coming, but they are on the way. Some of you have already received it, you've been told, and the rest of you should have this week. So that takes care of the coupon books, and that's all I have on the
Okay,
agenda.
I have a question about the money, I have auto pay.
Yeah.
I mean, usually we get a letter saying when our money's gonna go up and when our money's gonna be taken out of our account.
I got one in the mail.
I mean, I don't really appreciate that happening without any notice.
Well, first of all, I did not know everybody was going up until I got the budgets. I didn't have time to send a letter and tell you yours was going up. Second of all, you get a notice from the bank when the book pay goes out.
Well, this is what I'm talking about, okay? There's been no board meeting, okay? It's just been.
This is it.
No, yeah. That's, exactly, that's when there should have been a board meeting so things could go over.
2 minutes.
Susan, we had a board meeting, we got together, made up the budgets, gave them
It's
to.
not right to have money taken out of your account without knowledge.
You authorized it.
Okay? Not for somebody
She
going to
did.
take more money out of my account without telling me.
When we did the budget, Jeff, and
I
everybody gave us
authorized $380 to go out of my account, not
proposed
$400
budgets.
to go out of my account.
This wasn't adopted budgets. We haven't seen an adopted budget.
Yes, we did.
No, we haven't seen them. None of us have seen adopted budgets. There's our problem.
We haven't received one.
None of us do.
Then CNS and Carrie had them in hand that night that we went around from.
We don't have adopted budget. We don't have an adopted budget for 2019 that tells us that our maintenance fees have gone up. We have nothing. And here, we have nothing.
They sent something out.
No, they didn't, Jeff.
And we did them one at a time.
I didn't get anything.
I don't think Douglas and us, we haven't gotten one yet, I've not seen one.
I did.
Don, do you have ours for cluster 2? Do you have notes that we were supposed to get for cluster 2? To tell us that our maintenance fee went up to 404?
Up to 405, but yes, I got a.
You got it, but you didn't give it to us. I got mine in the mail from CNN.
in the mail.
I got mine in the mail.
I know you've been trying to say something for an hour.
I got mine in the mail.
Did you get yours too?
Yeah. I got mine, I didn't know I was.
When you come in, so.
I can't tell you the specific date, but
No,
I got
I mean,
it.
did it come recently?
It came like in November, December.
I have that. It's estimated.
No.
I've got that. It's estimated. It doesn't say adopted.
Doesn't it tell you that your maintenance went
No.
up?
When you say auto pay,
No.
you're using a T-bond? Okay,
No.
you have to go to your bank and change,
I'm sorry?
you have to go to the bank and take CNS off and put postal community management on there.
The bank is up here.
Ah,
Oh, you can make a phone
you
call.
can phone call or, log onto your account.
But that's how I find out that my maintenance has gone up and my bank statement catches up to me. And I do it when it's complete.
Yeah.
Then it's 10 or 20 or whatever. I don't know what it
Yes,
is.
sir.
But nobody ever notifies us ahead of time.
All right, I hope everybody got a lot of stuff off.
Oh,
their
wait a
chest.
minute, wait, one more.
I'm sorry.
My question was gonna be to you, what can we expect to see on the website, or, you know, monthly? We gonna see minutes, we gonna see financials? I don't know if you would post contracts we might enter into and stuff like that, but I'm looking for what information I can review going forward.
We can install anything that the board wants on there, whatever you guys want, we can put on.
Well, is there a contract with you guys to tell you what we want?
The website, there wasn't, and I think Steve, said it, we were looking at your website, because you have 176 units, and 718 changed the law, that says legislation changed the law, it said anybody over 150 units must have a website.
Right,
Okay.
so you're gonna get one up for us.
But Steve said that because you have 6 individual condos, you don't qualify for that law where you have to have one, because not any one of them have 150 units.
Okay, but I mean, CNS, you could go to theirs and look at minutes, and there's some financials on there, not,
We will.
I mean, I wanna know what
I
we're
will
gonna
push
see.
for that, and if you will give me a list of what you think should be on there, it will help, so we can give them direction for whoever the web browser person, webmaster, whatever it's called, that makes that up. Web host.
I mean, but
Okay.
all these things,
Sorry?
they need to be available to unit owners, and they're just
Well,
not.
CNS said we had availability, I'll give you an example of financials, and if you're here from cluster 6 still, you can go back and ask him. When he went in to look and see what our bank balances were, he got 7 hash marks. I got 7 hash marks. We could never get an amount, and we questioned that. Oh, well, we'll fix it. This went on for 3 months. And then we said, we want a paper trail. Forget this computer crap. Because paying bills, ABC company got paid 3 times and XYZ didn't get paid at all.
Well,
Oh, it was bad.
Well, there has to be a paper trail too, but I
Yes,
mean.
the paper trail was the best trail.
Well, I
Believe
mean,
it or
the
not, when
starting
you're talking
point
money,
is to see this
I want a
stuff
paper
and
trail.
see what was approved by the board.
Yes.
And these things need to be documented, and we don't have minutes. Last I could see was April 12th on CNS's website. Where are the
Terry,
minutes?
The last person from CNS that represented us, the last time they allowed us to read minutes was in first week of September. And the minutes that we were allowed to read, because it was part of it was the day we hired Peter. And that was not allowed to
Can
be
we pay
read
them after?
because that dealt with hiring an employee. Remember they said there's 2 reasons you can't do it, am I correct? When you have legal issues and when you're employee issues?
When you can have a executive session.
Okay, so those minutes weren't allowed. Then we had a meeting for budgets with the board, and I was told, we don't take minutes for that. And when I went to class, to learn to be a director, they said as long as there's a quorum, that's a meeting.
Well, how can we have a contract and not have these stipulations in
Well,
it?
we didn't have it before. We had different people managing us that made up rules as they went along. This guy is going by the book. Give him a chance to do his job.
I'm not saying anything bad about anybody,
No, I'm just
except
saying.
that, as a board,
Yeah.
we should have a contract with.
As a board, I want
These
that. I want
people.
that. We haven't had a chance to do that.
Also,
And
we sent out some information, and you got 3 sheets of paper. One we asked you for your emergency information, and the other one, your consent to receive emails. If I have your email address, I will send out all that information to you by email until we put it on the website.
Yeah, but these are the kind of things that would, stop all this craziness. by having that information.
Yes, sir. We've reached the point where I think we're winding down. I would like to know if there's going to be a discussion with the gentleman that hasn't come to cluster one and done the standard cleaning that we're used to having. Yes, sir, I've made a note. There will be a discussion. Is that something that, I believe when we've had a meeting, we should have some deadlines that we try to achieve? Is that going to be resolved within 2 weeks? I mean, 2 or 3 months is just ridiculous, especially when you're a snowbird. I will do my best to correct that, and we will have a discussion with Peter about getting in there and getting things done. And at the same time, will there be a discussion with Carol, because? Yes, sir, I'll talk to Carol. Okay.
But Carol is our director. Carol tells Peter what to do.
No, it really, the way it's been working, let me correct that for just a second. We agreed
But
when
she
we
sent
hired
you an
him.
email, and she sent you an email on
Okay.
November 3rd, and you did not do anything about it.
I don't remember.
The lights are still out.
Okay, can I explain something to you, please? We agreed when we hired Peter that one person would take over taking his emails and doing these requests in writing, so that 7 people giving one employee direction is a little crazy, okay? Now, that was supposed to go through Don, but when we switched companies, Bob said he would like to take over, and we lost somewhere in there that ability. I'm apologizing for that, okay? But we will address it. He's got it. We're going to talk to Peter, and we will bring Carol in and find out what her story is.
Has Peter
If
gone?
reprimand is due, that will happen.
Has Peter gone to cluster 5 and cluster 6? And
He's
2?
never not been in our cluster in
Okay,
ages.
and this is what he's supposed to be doing.
I want a copy of that. Do we all
What
have
is
a
that?
copy?
His job description?
It's a job description.
Do we
He
have
has
a copy
got
of his job
done
description?
It's in there, yeah.
In where?
Here.
In the, well,
But we all should have a copy of his job description.
This, no.
So we know.
every director, every director.
Where is it in
I don't
there?
know what job description you have on, because they changed it 3 times in as many years.
Isn't that resolved
Seriously.
just by posting the minutes and things?
If I go back to the minutes, I'll find what they said, I'll find my
We should
copy.
know what he is.
I didn't finish making my
Again,
point.
we don't get cleaned up.
I don't know that I have that.
Hey, John's
You
not
might
done.
want to know what he's.
Yes, ma'am, we have an estimate as to when we're going to meet again, so that we can try and hammer out some, if there are additional problems. Usually you put up a set of meetings for the year.
And can we have it done at night, so everybody can be there?
We had a good turnout today. Okay, wait a second. I'm gonna look for the date that we hired him, because that's when we gave him a job description, and it's attached to the minutes. I don't know, sir, I don't have your name.
Gary.
Gary, I'm in. Okay, give me a number. We held them normally on a Thursday night. Any night of the week is fine with me. How about Monday? I like Monday. How about Tuesday? Could be any, I don't care. Any, whatever date you guys want. Hold on, I'm looking for the, August the 6th.
I'll offer Tuesday just to get a phone number.
I agree.
Tuesday sounds good to me. Ground maintenance description, hold on. Is this this is not exactly, but it's close. I'll make you a copy of what we gave him when he was hired.
Can we all have copies of that?
Well, as many copies as that they can spit out.
Okay.
It's not the fastest printer, all right? But I have no objection. I mean, this is the job description.
When will the next meeting be, like in a month?
All right,
How about your next meeting, February the 12th at 6 p.m.?
Okay.
I'll make extras.
That's a Tuesday.
Wait, we have a question. Yeah, we have a question.
Tuesday the 12th at 6 p.m.
Yeah, what about the asphalt? Is that being finished?
They're coming back now, but Monday, I don't have a calendar, I think it's the 14th now. We got pushed back again because whatever job they've been on got blocked because of rain.
Yeah, it's the 14th.
Phase 2 got done accidentally. They were not supposed to start. They showed up over there. Phase 1, they started down here. They weren't supposed to do that. Once they started, I couldn't stop them. You ever stand in front of one of those trucks? I'm not.
I mean, we need our clusters finished.
Yeah.
4 and 5 need to be finished.
We're bad. I mean, our rain problem, we have 7 inches over here and 1 inch over here.
Yeah.
All the water runs under our buildings.
Yeah.
You're not having anywhere near the issue we
Not,
have.
nowhere near.
And the fact that I renegotiated for the difference for everybody with no assessment, you're welcome.
If we would've saw the minutes, we could have thanked you.
Nobody else has anything else to say?
Who needs a copy of his job? No, I do. Here, I'll put him there.
Do we have a date for your meeting?
No, what's the date? Bob, what date you will?
February 12th.
What day of the week?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, the 12th.
6 o'clock.
We can do it at 6. Who else needs a job description? No, you're welcome. I put my neck on the line for all of you. You're welcome. You think you can do it better? Come on, you think you can do it better? My blood pressure? Here you go, here's your stuff. Somebody had another one, take it back. A little bit.